Hi everyone, I just wanted to give an update on Tokyo. There's been so much support and a lot of questions wondering, when I'm going, if I'm going, and there's just been so much uncertainty that I just haven't been able to give a definite answer. But I wanted to just share a bit about my journey, the challenges that I've had throughout this process, along the way, the qualifying process, because I know it seems confusing how I couldn't know I've qualified, and where it is at. So this past year, 2 years really, has been just a crazy journey. Before COVID hit, I had already qualified for the Paralympics with personal best times in 3 events: 800 meter, 1500 meter, 5,000. I had also qualified for the marathon, ranked in the top 10 in the world in the 5,000. Personal bests 20 years through my career, I'm super proud of. And obviously, getting those qualifications are great. At the same time, there's been some challenges, and to actually get selected for the team is the bigger challenge. So we have the fewest spots we've ever had for, in my career, that I've ever seen, for a Paralympic team. We only had 9 men and 6 women, and we have about 50 athletes qualified. So a lot more people have qualified than there are actually spots on the team, and that's where the Canada criteria comes in and their selection comes in, which is pretty quite simple. It's basically just whatever your medal ranking is your position on the team ranking list. And as I mentioned, my best was 9th, but with only 9 spots. There was 2 guys tied for 7th, someone in 8th. So the reason that I've kept racing is to try and better my times and increase my rankings. So, it's obviously been wild. Everyone's in the same boat with COVID. I had actually a strain right before COVID, if you remember. I'd strained my rotator cuff before Worlds. I had to miss a Oita Marathon and Tokyo Marathon, two really fast courses, because I'd actually then completely torn at 75% tear. January 2020. So that was a really devastating time for me, because that's a time where you're doing your building, your base work, and preparing. But that was obviously a blessing in disguise, because with COVID hitting and the games being postponed, because it gave me more time to heal and get better and get back in shape. So going through all of that process mentally, knowing with a tear, it doesn't completely heal. It's not quite back ever to completely normal, but having my mindset of being, I am going to, despite this, be as strong or stronger than I've ever been before. And I have been. I've been, feeling great and pushing really well and strong and in shape, but obviously just waiting for these opportunities to continue to race. So that was Switzerland, was the first international one last May. And for us wheelchair racers, it's the weather conditions matter even more. Water, rain will give you some slip on your gloves. The wind plays a huge part. The international field that is at a competition, the more top guys are there, the more that you can go faster because of with the drafting, if they go fast and it doesn't become a slow tactical race. So there's a lot of factors that goes into it, and unfortunately over 3 weeks in Switzerland there was rain pretty much every day except for one day, but it was really great to be out there and race. And I mostly, with this top international field, was all of my placings were around 5th, 10th. Work to do, but really happy coming out of over a year without racing to see where I'm at. Also, a couple equipment things. I had 2 racing chairs. Both are great chairs, but knowing I needed a change in positioning in one, like, neither was perfect. And when you're going all in, all of this build up, 5 years, 20 years of my career, the medal that I'm missing is a Paralympic medal. Despite all the other accomplishments and achievements, that's the one that you're really going for. And you know, at this stage, you never know what is. Like I said, I had an injury, and you never know, no matter how old or young you are, if it's your last opportunity. So, all in, decided to order a new chair, $28,000, to be ready in time for Tokyo, and continue to prepare, continue to race. Ended up, as you maybe saw my stories, racing in Quebec City a fair number of times. No international field, obviously, because of quarantine rules, just us Canadians, but opportunities on a fast track to hit faster times. And basically what I had to do there was either increase my ranking from 9th to be 8th in the world or higher. And in order to do that, needed to take about a second off of my PB over a second, which totally possible if all the conditions and everything were right. It was fairly windy. My personal best is a 255, and pulled out a 258 predominantly on my own, and then did about half a dozen 256 1500s over the Quebec competition days that we had. So anyone in the sport would know that those are pretty fast times, and to do those times, you know, with a small field, with wind, you're in form, you're in good shape, but it wasn't as fast as I needed. So that was pretty tough to face, over the last couple weeks, and through all these challenges, and knowing coming into this whole entire thing, just, how difficult it is in our competitive sport. The T54 100 wheelchair distances are arguably, or not arguably, the most competitive on the track, and to rank, where I've ranked and what I've done, and to increase it, it's a challenge, but the mindset has to be that it's possible. This is why I'm here. This is what sport's about. It's pushing yourself harder, not focusing on doubt or any kind of fear or worry or unfairness. There's been so many things that have just felt unfair in the past, and I've learned from those that you can't focus on those. You got to control what you can, let go of what you can. Okay, this is the tough scenario, I got to go faster. And I did everything that I absolutely could in all those scenarios, including creating a marathon in my hometown of Port Elgin, because there was no marathon opportunities to race. And as I said, I missed two before COVID that were the two fastest ones on legal courses before COVID hit, where all the fast times were posted. So still, that shot to be top 8 there is a 1:24 marathon. Extremely fast. That was done in Owita. There was about 12 guys that were about 2 seconds apart in that race, and that just goes to show, one, how competitive it is, two, how much drafting plays a factor when you've got a huge pack. So going into the Port Elgin race I created here, it was basically just me, 2 other Canadian athletes, but really Tristan was the other distance athlete, and we were together for the first half on pace for a 1:24 marathon, just the 2 of us. And anyways, pace dropped, we separated. I finished with the 1:28. That put me in 21st in the rankings, which is obviously far from 8th, but our own Canadian Brent Lakatos, who won Berlin and won London during this qualifying period, was ranked 31st. David Weir, or 34th, I think, and David's 35th ranked. It's just crazy. So all of this being said, amazing performance, happy with them, should be proud of them, increased my rankings, personal bests, qualified, ranked in the top 10 of the world, and currently not going. I wasn't pre-selected last week for Tokyo. There was an appeal process, which I tried to pursue it's really just within the criteria, if appealing, your position and selection on the team. But as I said, the criteria is very simple. It's what your medal ranking is what your ranking is on the team. There's a couple angles that I had with that I thought might be promising. One, even though I'm ranked 9th, 98.5% of the world record. I know the 6 guys ahead of me that were ranked 8th, 7th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, are all actually further from their world leader in their event, even in 3rd and 2nd, than I was in 9th in the 5,000, or even 16th or 17th I am in the 1,500, also 98.5% of the world record. And that's just because of the depth and competitiveness of our field. It's just, the gap is so small. All of those guys deserve to go. And there is more than a dozen or 2 dozen guys also qualify behind me that deserve to go. And it's just absolutely crazy that we have so few spots. Why do we have so few spots? So the way the spot allocations work is at the last World Championships, if you place top 4, you get a spot for the Paralympics to your country. It doesn't belong to you, and only 1 athlete can earn 1 spot. So I think, maybe I'm going to throw out a number. Maybe we have 5 or 6 on the guys' side and a couple on the women's side. How do you get more spots? Then after that, they have a high performance time that's basically 12th, the 12th fastest time from the starting of the qualifying period. So if you get a time faster than the top 12 in your event, you get 1/4 of a spot to your country. So I achieved that, another guy achieves that, another guy achieves that, another guy achieves that. So 4 guys in the top 12 get us 1 spot. So that means 3 guys don't get to go. And they don't even belong to any of those individuals necessarily either. So I have, concerns about sustainability of the sport with this kind of approach, because you're in this situation where you have someone like myself who's ranked in the top 10 in the world in my event, and I'm currently not going to the Paralympics. And I know I'm not the only one. This, isn't just about me. In the marathon, there's about 10 guys in the top 15 that aren't selected to their country. Whatever reason, their country doesn't have enough spots. They don't belong to individuals. It's just kind of crazy and mind-blowing. I've kind of seen it happening through the years, but it's never been like this so far. So that's kind of where it is at right now. Teams are submitted. I'm not selected. I'm not submitted. I'm hoping, that this is a long shot, but I'm hoping that, the International Paralympic Committee takes a look at these lists of athletes submitted and sees the names and the rankings of guys who are not currently going. There are guys from other countries who have never beaten me before that are going. There's guys from other countries who are ranked lower than me that are going. So there's some serious concerns with, it's the Paralympics. You would expect to have all of the best there to compete. And like I said, there's about a dozen there, that athletes that aren't going, that should be there. So kind of through all this, you can, I'm sure, understand, either frustration. You can understand, I've obviously been angry at times. I've felt doubtful of the odds or the likelihood of going. But with that challenge, what I've had to do throughout this whole thing, because none of this is new right now, this has been the last long while, is you can't focus on that. You can't focus on this doubt. You can't be angry. You can't waste your energy on fighting something. And the way it is, what I could control was trying my best to perform, and believing in my ability focusing my energy on training to be my best, and that's what I've done, and I gave everything, and I mean, like I said, I should be so proud of what I've achieved and where I've been at, but that is what the situation is right now. So I guess to kind of summarize is like, I mean, I guess what I can share with you is, amongst all this emotion, the biggest challenge of this all is you're feeling sad. I mean, I can focus easily, and I'll do it right now, on 21 years of my career I've been working towards this goal. The last 5 years now since the last Paralympics, everything I've achieved, everything I've overcome, training through COVID, alone in a basement, not much motivation, with no one, around you, no races, a shoulder tear, something that I didn't know that would be career ending, doing everything to fix it, to be at my best, and getting through that, qualifying, having the personal bests. It's all just, it's a lot. And if I was focusing on that, that would take away from my performance. And because it is, and at times would feel devastating to think I'm not going, or in these moments, even right now, in the past 2 weeks, as I've been going through appeal process and holding out and waiting, is you got to just let it all go, all the heaviness, because if something was to happen and I had a spot, I have to be ready. So I have to keep training. There's maybe about a week of that where if there's some miracle long shot. And so, I can't be dwelling on that. I just have to keep preparing and be ready to go, to be my best, because now is a crucial time and a crucial block for training as well. So, no matter how bleak or hopeless something may seem or look, it hasn't passed yet. It's not over yet. It's not really in my control now. But I'm doing what I can control, and that's just trying to stay level and keep training and keep preparing to be my best. And I wanted to take this opportunity to thank all of you who have supported me so much, who have been there recently, or the whole journey along the way. I've just felt so grateful for all of the support, and there'll be more to share and say soon. But I wanted to give this update right now, as the team selection will be released, the nominations today to the Paralympics. And again, I am just I'm hoping that they look at this list of athletes going and notice all the ones who are ranked in the top 10 in the world in their event and don't have a slot because their countries didn't have enough spots, or whatever the reason may have been. Because I would just love to represent a country, Canada, compete, do what I'm prepared for, do what I'm ready for, and be at my best. And yeah, that's about it. And the reality is that's just a hope at the moment, but nevertheless, time goes on. Nothing matters more or defines us more than what we do every day. And for that, I'm proud. And when situations happen, things out of our control, tough things, we can grieve them. We should grieve them. I don't believe we should have, really many regrets, or if there's some sort of a regret, to just, understand what we could have done better, what we can do better next time, rather than let that guilt, weigh on us, or what have you. In this situation, I truly feel no regrets. I feel no guilt. I've done absolutely everything that I can in this situation, and I am not quite allowing myself to grieve yet, because I shouldn't, because the time hasn't passed, and when it does, we'll deal with that when it comes. But for now, thank you all for all the support, and yeah, just so grateful for this journey, proud of it, and so grateful for all of you that have shared so many moments with me.